Wow, this session was so satisfying. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And it is hashtag same 6 Wednesday, round 5. We have treasures this month from Beth. Her link is below, along with our other collaborative hoppers. Just saying. Go by and check them out. So this is all the lovely stuff that Beth sent us. Now that last piece that I showed you was that ribbon live one. That was actually on the envelope. Envelope, depending on how you pronounce it. So by using that, I get extra bonus points. There's no bonus points. Anyway, got the napkin. Peeling it off. There were 3 layers of the white, y'all. And that's the part I'm using. We're going to collage that on the inside of that cute card. And I'm just using fluid matte medium. I'm not worried about wrinkles or any of that kind of stuff because I'm going to welcome those into my life, y'all, with grace and ease. What other choice do we poor mortals have, right? Anywho, the doodles. Collaging that down. You want to be careful because napkins can disintegrate when you got them wet, with the fluid matte medium. And there's lots of different ways to apply napkins. So, anyway, YouTube it, y'all. So, here's another layer. That first one's already been dried with heat gun, I'm sure. And this is the second layer. And as you see, I've crumpled it up in my hand. And smooshing out more matte medium. Like I said, it was dry. We dried it with the heat gun, y'all. Okay. So, now we got plenty of fluids on there. It's actually about the same amount that I had before, but the card is no longer absorbing any because it's been sealed. So now we're smooshing this layer down. I'm trying to keep some of the winkles. Texture, y'all. Think texture. So now we're just smooshing it around. You want it to be, fairly, you want to be able, your brush to be able to glide over it. And you want a soft-ish brush, not an extremely soft one, not a watercolor soft, okay? Because sometimes you got to smoosh them a little harder than that kind of brush is willing to go. Heat gun, y'all, because you knew there were going to be some heat gun. Now, this is a longer-ish video. It's 30-ish minutes. And I'm going to use this IOD, which is Iron Orchard Design. It is a big, I'm going to say it's a 12 by 12. It could be 14 by 14. I don't know. And we're going to use some different color inks and just doing portions of it. As you can see, I'm going to get out my little name tag Baron, because, I can use it for a Baron, which is a thing to smish stuff down with. Oh, so pretty. I wish I had taken a picture at each color stage, because then we could have done comparisons, okay, which might be better than the video you get to see. Just saying. But speaking of, you can find your settings on whatever kind of device you're watching and perhaps slow it down so you can see more butter or speed it up even more faster. Okay? Just saying, look for the little gears, the little cogs, whatever you want to call your setting icon. Okay? Yeah, that thing. And I'm cleaning up between colors because I don't necessarily want to mix the colors. And I want to, smoosh it around. Hiccup, y'all. Because, archival inks can be a little delayed in drying as well. Just saying. Especially when you're on a non-porous surface. As we've already discussed, this card has now been mostly sealed. So here comes the third color. In the third location on the big old giant stamp. And I like this big old giant stamp, y'all. Just saying. Any hoot. Oh, Oh, it's just, to me, it's just like, wow. I know. Silly. Whatever. Okay, now we're going to go with fourth one. But I'm going back to the first color I used, which is French ultramarine blue. Does it say blue? Maybe it just says French ultramarine. I don't know. Anyway, there is a list of ingredients in the description below. There is also a list of the links for my fellow artists in this same 6 Wednesday round 5. Please go visit their channels, give them a like, a share, a kind comment. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to their channels because they're some pretty good people. And click the bell for notifications if you have your YouTube account set up to receive said notifications. Now that was a paper bag. And I struggled with clipping it apart because I want to make it a deeper pocket than just the little shallow tuck spot, which is typically there at the bottom of the bag. So I cut it open and I wiggled around and did this and did that. As you can see, it's like, I want to slide it in. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to cut it apart and then we'll have to reaffix it as a pocket. You know, and I'm still struggling with it. I'm making it much harder than it should have been. Because I could have just glued that whole thing down and just put a whole new piece of paper on top. Because, you know, that probably, new word, probably would have been more butter. Okay, just mentioning that. And I will fiddle around with that for quite some time. We're going to use some washi tape to stick down the parts I don't need sticking up, and that may hamper putting stuff in and out of said pocket. Now remember that little comment, okay? We're adhering stuff down so things can slide in and out easily. Okay? Okay. Washi tape is not a permanent tape. I use glue a lot of times. Absolutely every time? No. Probably 97% of the time. If we're going to guesstimate percentages. I'm not a percentage kind of gal. I'm a glass full kind of gal. Anyway. Well, some days I'm a no. There's nothing in that glass kind of day. Anyway. The video is in hyperspeed. Some small portions have been removed for your viewing pleasure and my voiceover ease. The whole thing about this collaboration, this hop that we're doing with our friends and stuff, is so that we can have the same things, mostly, maybe not totally identical, but the same things. And how we use them, it's not a competition. It's just unique ideas sometimes comes up, okay? Like it was probably unusual for me to use the white portion of the napkin and not the printed portion. Just saying. That was probably maybe unexpected, maybe not. I don't know. Pockets, that is so expected with me. So this is a fun piece. I'm going to call it, well, right now in my head, I'm calling it a piece of canvas. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. And I think it was some kind of a sample of something. It is plastic-ish. It's woven, but it doesn't come unwoven. Probably maybe because it's plastic. It could have been a placemat. I don't even know what it is. Beth? Anyway. She probably says in her video, so be sure to go watch that so we can find out what this is. It's going to be a pocket. Okay? It's going to be a pocket. Surprise, surprise, surprise. This is why my intentions of making flat stuff always ends up not being so flat because I put the pockets. That's so nice. I'm really happy with how this came out. So elegant. It's elegant, people. Okay, so I trimmed that off because it was just a little long, and I thought, well, you know, that It's a good place to separate it. So now we're going to separate that into 2 pieces. Okay. We will make something from our little scraps. And some of our teentier scraps, we will even use one of them. You'll see if you're still here, which you should be. I mean, it's only 10 minutes. I mean, you should to be here. Okay? Okay. Anyway, I know I said it before. Visit my fellow artist in this same 6 Wednesday collaboration, which takes place on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. I believe this is round 5, and it will go through, I believe, February of 24, thereabouts. So we've already done, where's my list? Okay, so in August we used my stuff. In September we had Barbara's. It's October, so now we have Beth's. November will be Maria. December will be Tanya. January will be Lisa. And February will be our final flippy floppy through finishing touches. I don't know, showing you how we made our initial project. I don't know what everybody's got planned, y'all. Inking and inking and inking. And that is pale ochre color, y'all. Okay? Okay. These colors all worked out so well. They made me so happy. Just wait. You know, this project, it looks very simple on the finish there. But I just kept going. I'm like, but wait, there's more. I'd have an idea would pop in my head for what I could do with this, and I'd go, but wait, there's more. Instead of just going over that with the typical brown, which was my initial thought, I thought, well, why don't I just use some of these same colors I've already used? So what if the ultramarine and the yellow ochre, kind of mixed and got a little happy-ish together? Hickin', y'all, because you got to dry that ink sometimes, okay? When you scrunchel up paper, wad it up, unscrunchel it, it gets those little peaks and valleys in it. And when you ink over it with a flat ink pad, flat, not a juicy ink pad either, not juicy ink pad, you end up with those marks kind of thing on the mountain part, on the peaks of the paper. And because I'm using fluid matte medium to collage down our bird page, I'm actually flattening the paper back out. So when you look at it and touch it, it's like there's no wrinkles, but you can see wrinkles, okay? It's all about the wrinkles, I guess. Now here I am going to fiddle around with what my measurements are. What measurements do I want? I don't know. I want to trim some off of this side. Did I get it glued on there straight? No. So I got to fake my way around being straight, okay? Just saying. Faking away. To what size do I want? Where's the ruler? Did I write those measurements down? I did, but where did I put them? I don't know. Now I gotta look at it with the ruler again. Is that what I want? Yeah, I reckon that's what I want. Oh, you guys, the stuff that goes through my head's like I got more than one. Well, I do have a left and a right side of my head, my brain. Okay, so the tails, and that's still a usable part. Okay. Okay, I've already said we use some of the scraps of the scraps. Oh, there's a bubble. So I'm going to try to fix that bubble. Would it have really mattered? Probably not. So I'm taking a sharp instrument, such as the blade of a pair of scissors. A craft knife would have been better. And you carefully trim through the top layer. And you're like, yeah, there it is. There's that air bubble. So now we're going to squishel some art glitter glue in there because it's got that handy dandy hummingbird beak-like nozzle. And we smooshed it down, and now there's no air bubble, and you pretty much can't even tell. So if you should happen to notice it, don't tell. That's what that means. So we're going to round the corners. It's still a little damp. And it was a thin book page. And as you know, it was a lined school notebook paper. That's pretty thin stuff too. Just saying. So we got to kind of roundish a little bit more with the skizzers. And what are we doing now? We're going to try, see, That's the only pocket that's glued down. It's like, what's it stuck on? I didn't make sure that all that rough edge off that bag bottom was secured down. So now I got to stick my finger in there, and I got to whistle it around and whistle it around, because I don't want to glue my pocket shut, but I want to make sure that stuff is down, and there it is. There we go. That slides in. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, now we need a tab. So that's one of those little scraps we had right there. And I'm like, well, that'll make a little tab. I don't want it to be square, I want it to be round, but now I can't slide my little leftover scrap square underneath my punch. So we're going to use an extender, aka sticky note, and put it in there where I want it. It did not completely cut the circle, but we're going to trim the edge. We're going to make a little flat edge. It's going to be fine. It's going to look cool. Don't even worry your pretty little head about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm like, yeah, that's not quite the same. So then we fixed it. I'm like, oh, it's so plain. It's not really plain. This is that decorative painted side that we did with the stamp. Remember the stamp side? I'm like, well, let's put a stamp on it. So I looked through my stamps, and I'm like, oh, I think this little tiny butterfly right here is going to fit perfectly. And it does. And I've not used that butterfly before. So I actually had the brilliant idea to test it. It's not like me to test stuff, but just do it. Okay, and then be upset because it didn't work correctly. I'm like, oh, that didn't stamp worth a darn. Do it again. Well, that's better, but it's still not great. There's something stuck on there. What is that? One more time. And do it with thought. There we go. Okay, so now we got our little tab. We're stamping our little butterfly. A little, y'all. See, it's little. Not teeny tiny. Almost teeny tiny. Okay, put it up. Put it up. Helps if you put things up. Keep that, because we might can use that little butterfly. We don't, not in this particular project, I don't think. Anyway, now we're going to glue it on with my favorite, Aleene's original tacky glue. Okay, get some clamps, because remember, we've got surfaces that aren't necessarily smooth and even. So we're going to clamp that on there. Okay, and we're going to set it aside to dry. Is it going in the pocket? Yes, it goes in the pocket. Yes. Okay. So we've got one pocket down. That one's not glued yet. I was showing you it's not finished yet. Because I'm not quite finished with the card. And we still have the doily and the butterfly. It's a little wooden veneer butterfly. I'm going to say it came from the Dollar Tree, although I really don't know that. But it looks like some similar that I have gotten from the Dollar Tree. So, now I've got the white gesso out. And I'm gessoing over the wood veneer because it's kind of darkish. And I don't want it that darkish because it just blends right in where I want to put it. And I don't want it to blend right in. I want it to have its own presence. That's it. That's the ticket. Hickin', y'all. I don't think it pops in the end, but it has its own presence. Gifts even. And I'm like, oh, we could put this strip on the back of our little taggy thing, because I'm letting the little wooden doolally dry more butter. Okay, I mean, heat gun only does so much. You should really kind of let this stuff dry. I know I say it all the time, and you see me do the complete opposite. I'm like, don't trim or punch stuff when it's damp. Let it be dry, and then I turn around and do it. So I mean, it's all for the filming purposes, y'all. So, do we come back and ink that? I don't know. We're going to ink it right now. We're going to ink it right now. Yay! Inking. Yay! Inking. Y'all. Oh, goodness. And now my nose wants to run. Excuse me. There we go. I'm fine. So we got it all inked it up. I don't always ink, but you know that about me. If you don't, maybe you should learn. So this is going to be a pocket because I'm gluing on 3 sides. If I was just gluing on 2 sides, it could be a tuck spot. Or just one side could even be a tuck spot. But we're making like a little short pocket, okay? Because, you know, I have that scrap. And we can use it because we can. So now we're back to our wooden butterfly that has been painted and now dry with white gesso. We're going to heat emboss on it because that's what we're going to do. So we smooshed it all in our ink. In that container I can't really put my fingers in. And we're going to do my, you know, how I like to mix embossing powders. So I've got a yellow, which tends to be an opaque yellow, a very pale blue, I think it's called sky blue, and gold, y'all. We're putting gold on there. Now when you do this, and I'm sure y'all have seen Tim Holtz do this, you just take a little bitty pinch between your index finger and your thumb, and then you like rub them together. Like you remember when we used to do that back, what was that, the 80s? You'd rub those 2 fingers together, hold it up in the air because it represented, you know, somebody playing their Woe Is Me violin. It's like, oh yeah. Anyway, you do it like that and it just puts out little sprinkles of it, of your embossing powder. Now, if you're just doing one color, that's fine. But when you get into more than one color, you're not going to want to put your excess, your leftovers, back in the original containers because now it's mixed up with other embossing powders, okay? So this is where you have another container. Tim Holtz calls it a party mix. I just called it, you know, I just called it the mixed up stuff. And leftovers, aka leftovers. And I have one that's got brightly colored ones, color ink or embossing powders in it, one that's darker. And I'm going to put these leftovers in the darker jar. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. Unless I ever go to use those. And I probably will use it. Yeah, because why not? That's why I'm keeping them, right? So here comes the heat gun. And maybe you can see on your screen the magic that is embossing powder. And I don't know how well this comes off in your screen, but in real life, it is flippin' amazing. So I thought, well, I'm going to put some posca pen on there for the body. And I'll come back later. I don't think you see that part because I don't think I filmed it. I go around the very teeny tiny edge of the whole butterfly, just the outside, not the inside frilly work, okay, with the black, and it's just like, yes. And I was sitting there and I thought, well, the butterfly looks so lonely. And I saw those death fibers, death thread over there, and I'm like, and it's even the perfect color, serendipity. You guys, where'd that channeling come from? Y'all, serendipity, all the time, all over the place. It happens. So, we got our fabrictac out, and we're just squishing some glue on there, because we don't want to glue our pocket shut, so we don't want it smooshing through. And we don't want it, because, you know, fabrictac will dry shiny. We don't necessarily want it shiny in your face, shiny. So, but little touches here and there is okay. So now I'm just smooshing that around on the back of the butterfly. And we're going to stick the butterfly on top of the fibers, desk threads. You know, when you rip fabric and you get the little threads? Yeah, that stuff. Cute. And then I thought, well, that white spot looks funny on its back, so I got out the gold pen and we put it in gold now, and then it was perfect. So back to our pocket. It's now nice and dry, pretty securely happy with that, and we're going to glue it into a pocket. Okay, I get the clamps out and I put some clamps on it. Got to Ellie Mae it, because, you know, gotta make sure it adheres properly. And I thought, well, we got to get a brad to go in the little holes that I punched that I don't think you got to see. And I found this little bird brad, and I thought, well, that's perfect. It's just a little too yellow. And I thought, well, let's just emboss it too, because we can. So we did. So we put on a layer of the, I believe it's sky blue, y'all. Put a layer of that, and I'm like, well, that looks okay, but I, put some more on it. Put a bird on it even. So, doing 2 coats of the embossing powder, and it's perfect, and it made me so happy. I'm like, wow, that worked so well. I'm going to have to try to remember that with the embossing brads. So, we've got the 2 tags that we made. I don't know if you got to see me cut the fishtail in there, because sometimes I think I'm pushing play and I'm pushing stop. Or not play, but record. Anyway. And I thought, well, they look so plain. Let's put some diamonds on there. And I'm bringing in orange. I know. You're like, well, there's no orange in it. Yes, there is. Some of them there birds got that orangey red color. It's more orange than it is red. So it's orange red. Okay, not red orange. It's orange red. Now I thought, well, let's use those colored diamonds on here. And they're like, wow, look at me. I'm the star of the show. And I was going to put all of them up. And I thought, no, just wait. Don't put them all up. Don't put all the diamonds up. So we're putting our brad on. I know, and you're saying, but you got to poke a hole somewhere else. No, I don't. I've got a little bitty, teeny, tiny scrap. See, right there. That I punked a hole in it. And we're putting our brad all through all 3 of them layers. And opening splaying the little arms out. And we're going to put some glue on the little scrap. Just the scrap. So the little tags can still semi-move. Okay? Semi-move. Not 100%. Just a lot. Or mostly. Some. And I thought, see? That's where these other diamonds are coming in. So we're going to put them other diamonds right there on the outside of that card. And I was pretty much done. It was taking my photos. And then I realized I forgot to put the date on it. So I come back and I put the date on. Okay, flippy floppy time. Look at that, y'all. So cute. Oh, and look. Bonus points. We don't get points. They really don't count. But I like to say bonus points. Here's our other tag. Here's our doily. Y'all thought I wasn't going to use. We'll put some little paper dolls in there with butterfly wings. Again with the oranges. Look, it just slides right in there. See, it's a pocket. Ah! Ta-da! Photo montage. Oh, y'all. So you can see the little black outline around the outside of the butterfly with the Trailer Park Girls. Cute. Pretty extensive photo montage, I think. But that's okay. With lots of tape. You know, stuff in the pocket, stuff coming out of the pocket. What came out of the pocket opens up. How fun is that? Love that big old stamp, y'all. Just saying, because I do. Look at the butterfly. So magical. Look. Hydrangea. I got a hydrangea bush. Oh, makes me happy. I want to remind you, this is a hop. Please visit the links in the description below. Watch all the hop videos. Like. Share, kind comment, subscribe to those people if you're not already subscribed. Notification bell if you have your YouTube account set up to receive said notifications. We all appreciate each and every one of you. So fun. Thanks for watching and happy artin', y'all.